Louisiana All-American Sports Show. 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 Louisiana. If the sports you want to talk about, then listen to the hottest show that's coming out the South. It's Eric Hatfield and Coach Perry Daniels, man. They're gonna sit you down and tell you all about the game and make it plain. 96.9 FM, that's the station to hear the best sports talk show in the nation. Without hesitation, you should get with this and get your popcorn ready, boy. You better not miss Louisiana All-American Sports Show. Louisiana All-American Sports Show. Louisiana All-American Sports Show. Louisiana. It's Joker Bay. Check this out.
They're going to kick it out to Robillard. Robillard looking. He finds Tim Johnson way over in the corner. Terrence Johnson down low to a wide open Terrence West. He waited too long, and it was rejected by Roderick Hayes. Here come the Kittens. Carr's pass broken up by Joe Robillard. He was trying to find Dexter Dennis, and once again the Bel Air Bengals, they're not getting fooled, and they're not getting caught a step behind. They are staying right with their opponent, and it will remain Kittens ball. But the Bel Air Bengals defense is keeping the score very manageable,
and that's what's keeping them in there. They're pretty much and there it is again, another steal, but the Kittens recover the ball, gets the ball back out to Sheldon Carroll, which is only 20 seconds left in the third period. The score is 27-22. They have a 5-point lead.
I was going to say, Coach Clark called for the pick. Good job getting there trying to move it, but they didn't get the open space. Carroll goes up, kind of forced that shot, and they're going to call a block. And here come the Bengals. There's a high kick by Bradley over to Robillard into the corner for Terrence Johnson. Johnson putting the ball back on the ground, and they're going to roll it around. And Robillard from the foul line kicks out to Bradley for three. Rims off, no good. Rebound, Southern Lad. Oh, Joe Robillard again not ready for it. That's twice we've seen him kind of skip off his hands. You got to keep your eye on the prize. And Southern Lab now might be going for the jugular vein here.
And I think Bel Air, by playing only a certain amount of players, is starting to wear down a little bit.
Yeah, the fat lady's starting to warm up a little bit too. I see Precious now getting admitted through the VIP entrance. See Roseanne flanking on her side, asking about her hair secret. I'm just so fresh, so clean. Good morning, Baton Rouge. Today is Saturday, February the 20th, 2016, and you are tuned in for another edition of the Louisiana All-American Sports Show. It is a very pleasant, very warm, very beautiful Saturday morning, and it's a great day to be in Baton Rouge, and it's a great day to be alive. This is Eric Hatfield.
And I'm Gerard Piper, a.k.a. Joker P.
And you are tuned in for the 8th edition in the year 2016 of the Louisiana All-American Sports Show. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it feet first. Last night, the Louisiana All-American Sports Game of the Week was a little bit of an early one. We had a game. We went out, took us to West Baton Rouge Parish between the Baker Buffaloes and the Brusly Panthers. The game was moved ahead a little bit, but it was a thrilling finish to that game between Baker and Brusly. Brusly appeared to throw a Mike Tyson's first round knockout early in the game, but then those Baker Buffaloes, coached by Coach Jamie Holmes in his first year at Baker, they came roaring back in the ball game, cut the lead down. They trailed by as many as 30 points at one point in the game and cut the lead down to 5 in the third quarter. But then Brusly does, Brusly is now second in that very competitive District 6-3A that's ahead of the Port Allen Pelicans, who are very, very, very good, as we tell you all the time. And they did what contenders do, and they rallied, and they went ahead and they wound up winning the game. Final score was, if I remember correctly, 81-62 in that ball game. Jason Holliday, who's also the quarterback on that football team, really had an outstanding performance on both ends of the court and at the charity stripe, rallying his team, and that ended up being really, I think, the difference in the ball game. And in the end, on senior night at Brusly, the Panthers were able to pull ahead.
Yeah, the Panthers was able to pull it off. I want the audience to excuse me a little bit. I'm a little bit under the weather, but what an amazing game last night. It actually was like a roller coaster, because it was for a team to go up by 30 points, usually you would pretty much call that game over.
Right.
And then for them to be able to come back, cut it within 5, but like another roller coaster. Wow, they came back. And then they go back and push the lead back up to 22 and end the game. So it was that was the type of game that you don't see normally, but I thought that Brusly had control of the game. They came out and just punched him right in the mouth in the first quarter, right out the gate with about almost like a 20-0 run. And so since from there, they just kind of coasted. But Brusly, I respected what Brusly did and how they fought back and defensively wise. And in the second and third quarter, they scored 27 points.
Yeah.
I think.
Talking about Baker.
Yeah, Baker. I mean, what I said, Brusly.
Yeah. It's easy to do.
Right, B and B,
Yep.
But it was an amazing game. I thought Jason Holiday also was in the key moments in the game. He was able to pick himself up. He got key rebounds. He had key assists, 3-point opportunity, 3-point plays. And it was pretty much the senior night because the other senior, Michael Bryant. Michael Bryant. And the other point guard was the other.
Jasper Queen.
Jasper Queen. Those 3 seniors was pretty much, the guys who won that game for him. So
he was playing. Jasper Queen played some defense, and Coach Kirby Luke pointed that out last night. Jasper Queen, I think he did have at least 10 points, but what Jasper Queen did not show up on the stat sheet, and that was when Baker started to fight back in the I did it too. When Brusly started to fight back and take control of the game again, he was a frustrator on defense and never let Baker get comfortable with the basketball when they put on their rally. So, that's what teams do, and I was really impressed with the leadership that I saw out there on the court. Because you could see visibly on the faces when Brusly started to lose that lead, when Baker started roaring back in the game, you could visibly see the frustration on the faces of those players. And Jason Holiday said, the team leaders had to step up, tell everybody, be calm, take it one possession. Every possession counts, one play at a time, and they came back. It's also interesting, too, how in district play, and it's not just in high school, it's in college, in conference play. It's in NFL, or in the NBA in division play. You can throw the records out the window. You can throw the score out of the window. It's not over till it's over. Because if you listen to the Louisiana All-American Sports Game of the Week every Friday night at 7 p.m. On 96.9 FM, streaming at WHYR.org, we'll do this thing where we'll kind of jokingly call it time of death, when we think a game has gotten out of hand. And it could be in the third quarter. It could be with 10 seconds left in the game. And if it's the home team, we'll sing Turn Out the Lights. We'll have some fun with it because that's what we do. We have fun here. But Joker's like, are you going to call the have you ever called it in the first half? I said, Joker, I'm not calling it. And it was getting ugly. I mean, when it was 38-8, I'm like, oh, well, I'm getting the lemon juice, ready to spray the lemon juice and start singing. Like, you know what though? I've seen stranger things happen, and we've seen Baker put on furious comebacks before against Port Allen earlier this year. So I like what Coach Jamie Holmes is doing, and he really only has one real true playmaker on the team, and that's Ronnie Harrison. The rest of these kids are just kids that are giving everything that they have. And you know what? The late, great John Wooden said the definition of success, I'm going to butcher the quote a little bit, and I can't do him justice, but it's basically having the peace of mind of having the self-satisfaction of knowing that you got the most out of every opportunity that you had. In other words, there's no such thing as 110%. There's 100%. And if you truly are given that 100%, you are successful. And those kids, in my eyes, are a first-year head coach for a team that was just not very good last year, to put it mildly. I think those kids this was a successful season. Now, the key to success next year will be to continue to build on that.
Right.
But we'll see. But I think Coach Jamie Holmes is an excellent coach. Great job. You can tell his kids like to play for him. I would not mind having my children play under him at all if they were in school. So I thought that was a very successful year. Watch Brusly in the playoffs. Brusly is playoff bound. There's I'd say a better than 50-50. I'd say about a 2/3, 2-to-1 chance they're going to have, or I should say 1-to-2 chance they're going to host a playoff game and probably advance. Have a good chance to advance past the first round of the LHSAA playoffs. We will have a playoff game next week right here, 96.9 FM, WHYR, Baton Rouge Community Radio, 7 p.m. Friday night. I am guessing right now, and it's just a guess, I am guessing it will probably be the McKinley Panthers. We don't know the opponents yet. The score hasn't been rolled. The brackets have not been rolled out yet, but I'm reasonably confident the Panthers should be hosting a playoff game, and if that's the case, and it's Friday and it's 7 o'clock or later, we will be bringing that to you right here. But stay tuned. Keep checking LouisianaAllAmericanSports.com for the schedule. And also, if you want to hear last night's game in its entirety, because it got off to an early start, check later this week. We'll be uploading the full a broadcast of the Baker-Brusly game to Louisiana All-Americansports.com. So, other action in the high school area, and by the way, stay tuned. We have a very special guest coming up today. I think a very telling guest, I'm looking forward to hearing what our guest has to say. We'll introduce him very shortly. Speaking of the McKinley Panthers, that's a clue. So in other high school action last night, Scotlandville rolled past Denham Springs in District 4-5A showdown. And I've been saying for a while, keep an eye on Denham Springs because they had been very... They've been on a roll. I mean, Denham Springs, the Yellow Jackets had won 12 of their past 13 games, and they really put up a fight to challenge the defending Class 5A champions. That 4-5A is a pretty brutal district too, along with 5-5A. But in the end, Coach Carlos Sample and the Scotlandville Hornets pulled the Stingers out of the Yellow Jackets, pulled them completely out of the Yellow Jackets. When I say Denham Springs gave them a fight, I mean they showed up to the fight. As Scotlandville won 74-38 over Denham Springs, and I'll tell you, if you won 12 out of your last 13, there is nothing to take the wind out of your sails more than getting just blasted like that. But Scotlandville is the real deal, and what can I say? It's Javante Smart, who's just a sensational sophomore, and they're going to have him for 2 more years after this year. He scored 27 points. He had 6 3-point shots in that total, which is just. It's just ridiculous. They're pushing Scotlandville to 30 wins and 2 losses on the season. They're undefeated in District 4-5A play, and I'd be stunned if they did not have the number 1 overall seed going into the Class 5A playoffs. So the Scotlandville Hornets, that's a team. That's one to watch. They're in the top 28 every year. They seem to be in the finals every year. I'd be surprised if they were not again this year. Excellent job. Javante Smart is he's
on a roll.
He's on a roll, and he's going to be one of those names. He's going to be one of those high school students who's a household name to even the most casual of basketball fans, because if this young man keeps developing the way he is, everybody's going to want him. And I mean everybody's going to want him. He's got length. First of all, he's still growing. Let's start with that. But he's got length. He's got an excellent shot. His ball handling is sick.
And I think that, above all, his skill set is there, but he has a very high basketball. You can see that. He don't really make too many mistakes, and he goes at a certain constant speed, and that's what I like about him. He's a real thinker on the court, and that's going to serve him good, as it has been by them being a defending champ. They are the team to beat. There's no question about it. They got camaraderie. They play together. They've defended champs, so everything is in their hands to lose now. But of course, I want to congratulate McKinley High Panthers.
Absolutely.
Man, Tuesday night with a great win, great district win for the McKinley High Panthers. The first district title in 20 years, man, since
1996. Man.
So that was real big. That was a real big game for them to overcome and win the way that they did win in the end. A tight game, because you got to give it up to East Ascension.
Absolutely.
They actually was a favorite coming in, win the district, and McKinley went in there and swept them this year. They went up into East Ascension and beat them up there. So
that's not easy.
That's not easy. And with the turmoil that the McKinley team had earlier this year, so I just want to give shouts out to them, be able to fight through that and get their first district title since 1996.
Oh, absolutely, Joker. And I'm really happy for those kids. I mean, we followed them closely. That game against East Ascension was in the bottom on Tuesday at McKinley, and it ended in dramatic fashion as Tyrese Radford, who we've told you about over and over and over again, and Donald Hunter hooked up as Hunter scooped up a pass from Tyrese Radford off of a turnover and scored a layup as time expired to defeat East Ascension and clinch the district title. So it was high drama there at McKinley. So I got to say that's that is one heck of an effort there by the McKinley Panthers. That team has grown. They are unbeaten in district play. I don't have their score from last night. It should have been I'm not gonna say a cupcake, but they did play Catholic High, and they should have. I expect they beat that game. I'm just trying to confirm a final score on that game. So I'm trying to get those scores to you in just a moment. But big props, and just really, it's going to be another. It's one of those years where high school basketball coming into this time of the year, it's always ramped up, and Louisiana's always had great great products on the court. I mean, they've had great players, and they've had they get it done. So we're going to get you some. Oh, hang on. We're going to try to get you some final scores momentarily. Coming up, we're waiting for Coach Perry Daniels to call in any moment now, and he should be on the phone with our guest as we're efforting that. So I want to go ahead and try to look up some scores. If you can just kind of let the audience know what we have coming up.
Yeah, well, coming up, we also have a special guest, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, we haven't been covering the NBA, with the conclusion of the Super Bowl, of course, wham. No more football for right now, but that's okay. Louisiana All-American Sports is still going to bring you great coverage.
I mean,
basketball, even baseball, and we'll have a lot of things in store, for the off season when the basketball is over. So you guys, I want you to stay tuned and
no more football, man.
No more football. But yeah, so that's what we got going on right now. Of course, we're waiting on our caller to call in, and you're gonna like this caller. It's going to actually explain a lot of stuff, a lot of questions that we had in the situation.
Yeah, exactly. Filling in a lot of the gaps here. No, I don't want. I'm trying to keep the suspense, right? We gotta. You don't want to give away the plot.
Yeah, Obama's outside. You may not believe it.
And just to bring the audience up to speed, Coach Perry Daniels does have an important extracurricular activity that's going on in the nation's capital. He has a break between. Literally at the time of our show, right between 11 and 12 Central Time. So it is taking him a few more minutes to call in to the show than he normally will. We don't have him queued up at the top of the hour, but Coach isn't slacking. Coach is a very busy man. So we're just waiting for him to get a chance to break away and get to the old horn and get with us. So
that's right. And I know Coach definitely has some opinions on, because we're also going to talk about a little controversy here too. With the Peyton Manning situation that's been going on, just different things about, I think the most important thing going on right now is probably the Flint, Michigan water crisis. Mm-hmm. It's getting a little bit of press, but not as much, when you start researching, really look into what these people have to go through,
Right.
You hear at first, they just water, just give them bottled water, but it goes a lot deeper than that, you're talking about removal of pipes out the ground.
Major construction.
Major. You're talking about effects of children for years to come. There's no cure for lead poisoning, so there's no way to really just give you something and get it out of it.
Right. It's you're stuck with some of that. Now, granted, modern medicine has helped mitigate some of it, so it's not as bad as 40 years ago. But you're stuck having to treat and deal with that stuff permanently.
Yeah.
It's nothing to play with. And
it's nothing to play with, man. And I was listening to some ladies in Michigan. And they have a little organization, basically Save the Water, coalition type thing in Michigan, man. And I saw it on a program called Democracy Now! We actually have Democracy Now! Programs here at WHYR 96.9.
Mm-hmm. Sure enough.
And I watch it a lot online, and it was a great story about the Flint, Michigan water crisis. So I encourage people, if they want to know more about that, to be able to do their research and, chime in, if you can. Every little small thing counts,
So finally, I found. I think we have. That's our guess. Would you go ahead and just pick up the slack for just a second, Joker?
And finally, we have a score.
No, we got
last night. Well, McKinley lost last night, actually, and that had to be, I guess, a letdown from winning the district title. From what I'm looking at, it looks like McKinley is 40. Catholic High 48. And from the looks of it, McKinley never led the game. Never led in the game. And so that really is a big upset, pretty much a letdown for these guys to lose that last game against Catholic.
I'm
right?
kind of, I guess maybe they... Good grief, now I'm seeing the score. That's what I get for running my... See, Joker, this is why I make sure I can see what I see before I see it. That's Coach Boudreaux on the line. Let me go ahead and pipe him in. Let's see. Let me just make sure, Coach, you can hang it up. Coach, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. How y'all doing? Okay?
Fantastic. We have on the line Coach Harold Boudreaux, coach of the McKinley Panthers boys basketball team, the district 5-5-8 champion McKinley basketball team. Coach Boudreaux is the man that laid the foundation to get them that first district title in 20 years, possibly en route to a top 28 in a state championship. We're going to go ahead. We're going to have a very thorough conversation with Coach Boudreaux. Coach Perry Daniels, if you're listening, we'll just text me. Let me know how you want to work it out. But we got Coach on the line. Real quick, before we go to Coach Boudreaux, let's go ahead and give our audience just the quick wrap-up of the scores. I'm like you. I think McKinley maybe they felt they could take that deep breath, but they could have gone unbeaten in district play. I'm kind of stunned that
they lost that game.
Actually, Coach Perry Daniels will not be joining us this afternoon. It was held up, and he told us to carry the ball and take it across the goal line. So we will.
Well,
Coach,
I won't fumble.
Yeah, we'll do you proud, Coach. So and I'm glad he tuned in too. Okay, so Central, boy, Live Oak. What? My goodness, I don't know what's going on over there, but they're just awful this year. Live Oak lost to Central 45-36. Shout out to my Ben Franklin Falcon alumni assistant coach Scott Osborne out there at Central. Dunham defeated Christian Life 60-56. It's just like Christian Life can't quite get their nose over that hunt. East Ascension 87, Broadmoor 70. That's interesting. Not that East Ascension won, but that Broadmoor, they got some fight in that dog, so good for them. Glen Oaks defeated Parkview Baptist 54-47. That's interesting. That's also something I wouldn't have expected. Looks like a lot of oh my goodness. Madison Prep. You ready for this?
Yes.
Madison Prep 102. Uh-huh. That's really enough right there. Madison Prep 102, Northeast 41. Episcopal body slams Lehigh 86-59, but Lehigh's just getting it together. Port Allen 55, Donaldsonville 42. No surprise there. Nigel Allen had 14 points in that game. Port Allen knocked down 6 threes. It says Jackson, but they didn't tell us which Jackson. So Runnels over St. John 63-56 in that game. Cricket Crockett, who's also the son of a regular listener. So if she's listening, I see your son scored 16 points. Miss Crockett, good job by your young man. So that is going to wrap it up. Of course, we talked about Scotlandville destroying Denham Springs. I think we did talk about Catholic defeating McKinley. St. Michael the Archangel defeats Bel Air. That's surprising, and that might be a death blow to Bel Air's postseason chances as St. Michael defeats Bel Air 50-48. Tara defeats Woodlawn 62-57. That Tara team has been Jekyll and Hyde. They've improved dramatically over the years. Zachary 57, Walker 55, and that wraps up our boys basketball. So now to the main event. We got Coach Harold Boudreaux on the line. Coach, thank you so much. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate you giving us some of your Saturday.
Yes, sir. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be speaking to you right now, and just trying to keep things in place with a positive attitude, and it's been going that way. It's been working well.
Coach, we know just your pedigree. We know you're definitely a role model as far as positive, staying positive and staying focused on goals. But let's take it twofold. As we said in the introduction, what's indisputable is you laid the foundation for this McKinley team that has had its best district performance, really in the lifetimes of any of the students who are there right now. I was 1996, I was a junior at LSU, so I was still in school taking classes last time. Torrance Hatch, a.k.a. Lil Boosie, was toting the rock up and down the court last time, he was wiping down the court before he did wipe me down. The last time McKinley won district, Bill Clinton was in the White House. A gallon of gas cost $1. I can go on and on and on. It's been a long time, and you laid that foundation. So I guess the fun part, the good news part. Let's talk. Could you discuss that with the audience?
Yeah, one of the biggest things I always go back and I look at what got us to this point of winning district. How did we get there? I always go back to the hot summertime, the conditioning, the strength and conditioning side of it. All preparation, and so it was a process. So I knew that as long as we put that work in, we would be okay. And then now we applied things to the court, and we started converting things on the offensive side and making things happen on the defensive side, inputting our blueprint as far as basketball goes. All of that came with nothing but hard work from my side, my assistant coaches. I got to give them credit for that. They were there with me, which is Mark Young. Did a fabulous job of understanding why why we had to do the process of conditioning, strength, weightlifting, and all that other stuff, and then basketball, summer league. I was glad that I had him with me the whole time and really, really paying attention to everything that I was doing, because everything that I have to offer is based off experience. Experience about, as a high school player, my high school coach was very, very committed to me as a basketball player, high school player. My college coach, Dale Brown, did some fabulous things to make me a better person than I am, even as a person, even as a coach. So a lot of those things are still in me, and all I'm trying to do is instill that into other kids so that they could take off with it one day, so that they could prosper somewhere on the college level, mid-major, or junior college. It doesn't matter as long as we are growing, but it comes with tough love.
That's right.
It comes with serious tough love, because one of the biggest things I remember telling the kids when I first got to McKinley, even when we started training, I said, I want to tell you this, and I need you to hold on to this. I love you first, okay? I love you first, but it's going to be tough, because it was not easy for me. I have to let you know that it's going to be hard for you also in order to be successful, and that's all I wanted to do. That's all I still want to do.
Right.
Just put them in a successful situation, continue on build a program, and let's build this for as long as we need to make it last, as long as we're allowed to do that. Don't tie our hands up. Let us be coaches. Let us be mentors. You know, don't forget about, as a coach, I have to give that kid a ride home. One of my students, one of my players, I take him home every day, and I get my small suspension done to me. You know, I could not stop thinking about the kid, because now here I am. How is he going to get to practice every day? How is he going to get to school every day? How is he going to get his meal after school every day?
Right.
There's a lot of things that plays in the role of being a head coach, and we wear different hats. We wear different hats, and I know I'm jumping from one place to the next.
No, Coach.
But it's real. It's real. It's not just about basketball. It's life. It's life. It's life lesson learned. That's what's important.
It's one of the most valuable things in sports, because most students, no matter how good they are or how hard they work, are not going to a Power 5 school or a Division I school. If they even have the opportunity to play basketball after high school, it's the lessons that you learn from life in sports. And you've segued, I mean, it's a smooth, buttery segue right into our next topic. You know, I've read the articles in The Advocate. You and I have had discussions off the air. But in the words of Coach, I guess to the degree that you're comfortable, tell the audience, and just to catch the audience up that hasn't been following, that maybe doesn't get to listen every week, Coach Boudreaux was relieved of his coaching duties after a back and forth. There was a suspension. He filed a court injunction. It was put back on the bench, and then finally, and I don't know the proper terms, but basically it was the decision was final that he wouldn't be returning to the bench. So that's what's been out there in the news, and that's to catch our audience up to speed. So, Coach, hey, the floor is yours. Tell the story.
Well, one of the biggest things is, you know, whenever you're dealing with discipline at any level, dealing with kids, that's where problems seems to happen. When me as a coach, I believe in doing things the right way. I'm not maliciously hurting any kid. I'm not doing anything to jeopardize their lives, jeopardize their mentality. All I want to do is be positive, and that's what I was, and that's what I believe in doing, because I was brought up the same way. I would not give kids anything different than what it took for me to be successful.
Right.
And that's all I was doing, was passing on hard work, passing on structure, being a class on time, lifting your pants up, being presentable, being the first student in class. Yeah, maybe I was a little strong-handed on those things, because I believe those are the things that it took to be successful. What is wrong with that? There's nothing wrong.
That's right.
But my biggest thing I always believe in preventing this phone call. I believe in preventing one phone call, a 3 a.m. phone call. I always want to prevent that phone call where I have to come identify one of my kids who didn't get the proper structure when he was under my watch. If I can give him the proper structure, I never have to worry about that phone call.
That's
I never have to. I can go and I can live. And now, one of the things I always tell my kids, there is tough love, but I want you to know, you are a lifetime member of my life. As long as I could breathe, you will always be in my life. From the time it's time for you to raise a family, to take care of your kids, and do such stuff, I will always be there. They forget about all that.
And
the general public forgets about that, and that's okay. Because not everybody wants it strong. I know that today's kids, And today's, you have a bunch of strong parents who still want that structure. I think that if you take that away from coaching, where we can't put our kids to be responsible for their wrongdoings,
right,
they're gonna continue to do wrong. There has to be consequences of sagging pants. There has to be consequences of skipping class. There has to be consequences of failing. We have to tell them the truth. And that's all I knew. Now, did I fight this battle? I did it because I was doing everything the right way. That's all I know. That's all I know.
Coach, go ahead.
And I will continue to give them the same good energy. There's better way to relay back to the kids of how you want things in place without using certain languages. Not saying that I did, but you got to be careful of how you present things. Mm-hmm. It makes coaching a little harder, but it could be done. It could be done. There's bittersweet in this whole thing. Maybe I get a chance to come back at the end of the year and continue to do what I started, and keeping McKinley as successful as possible. That's where it's at.
Oh, so that possibility is still on the table.
Oh yes, it's a strong, very, very strong possibility.
Man, that's great news.
Very, very strong.
Yeah, that's
great news,
that's exciting.
man.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I just want to definitely commend you, my brother. On standing on your principles and your morals. We live in a society now. Even when I played at McKinley, and I played a lot of different sports. I wrestled, I ran cross country, I played basketball, Teddy Brown, I played football, Coach Moore.
Oh, tough coaching.
Oh yeah, tough coaching. And and I can't lie. I kind of received some of it the right way. I received some of it the wrong way. I was at a rebellious stage. At that time in high school in my life. But the way things are now today with the social media and more or less with the pampering of the kids and that type of thing, I totally agree with you. And I'm trying to figure out where can it be a fine line or a compromise, you know what I mean? Because I definitely see the improvement from the time when I first met you, the East Baton Rouge Parish Tournament, when we talked a few minutes and I saw the team. And then I saw you again when Obama came to McKinley, President Obama came, and we spoke outside, and I was telling you, some things that I saw from the outside looking in. I was telling Eric about that. And I said, some coaches, they feel, if you tell them, hey, man, I saw this, they'll feel like, oh, don't tell me nothing. Right. I know what I'm doing. But I'm not saying you, but I've seen coaches like that.
I know what you mean.
So when you received that from me and you was like, no, my brother, he was like, no, tell me what you see. Yes. This is what I want to go and tell these guys, because I've been telling them that. And I started breaking down what I saw, and he saw the same things. And so that's what really let me know that this guy was really a real good coach, because he's open-minded enough to receive from different areas and be able to relay that message and motivate these kids. The district, when they went up there and beat East Ascension with all that against the wall, that's when McKinley came together, man. And so we definitely support you. We definitely behind you. So obviously you still have a good relationship with the team and your assistant coaches.
Yes. Oh, yes. We converse. We talk every day, all day, really. Just trying to make sure they're in a good situation, with everything that's going on right now as we get ready for the playoff. I'm all about McKinley. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Tell me what you think.
I want to be here.
What you think about the maturation of Tyrese Radford? From
let me tell you,
how good you think he is.
The sky is the limit. He is tough. One of the greatest things I love about Tyrese Radford, this is all fun and games right now. When he gets serious, when he truly gets serious, is what we're trying to do right now, make him understand the value of being ready to play from the time the ball is tipped off to the end.
Right.
But once he understands that, I tell you what, on any level, he can compete. On any college level, he'll be able to compete. He's academically strong.
He's tough.
His parents believe in education. He got a good core of friends around him who believes in the same thing, so that makes it a little easier. He got great support from from the coaching staff. None but the utmost respect for him, because he gives the same thing back. Very, very humble. Does not mind putting in the extra work that needs to be put in the classroom or on the basketball court. he will do whatever it takes to be successful. And listens. And
that's rare.
Grain of salt, and listens and allows himself to be coached.
That's rare with 15 and 16
And only a
years.
sophomore at that.
Right.
And a sophomore, you got to hold on to him.
Oh, yeah.
And you got another kid on the side of him,
Coleman.
Yes.
He's tough. He got other kids that's on the team that play a valuable role. AJ Lee, those guys, they're gonna be great. They're good kids. They are.
And that's where I see the improvement has grown tremendously. Not once on the defense side, McKinley has really cranked it up, but on the rebounding with these guys, AJ, they got some bodies down there.
Yeah.
Even with Nick Wiggins and these guys is tough down in the middle.
Andre Lee
that's where Andre Lee and Coleman. Coleman is so versatile. This guy is still growing. He got a shot, and he's the same way. I don't think he really knows how good he can be.
Right.
But those two guys, from what I hear, are best friends. They,
Yeah, Mrs. Coleman was saying they're at each other's house all the time and stuff. So
always.
Yeah,
always.
It's a good support system.
Together some kind of way.
Yeah, that's a great support system to have with two good kids who are focused on the right thing. You know, Coach, we often say, or at least I often say on the show, that teams are reflective of their coaches and their personalities in some way or another. And you mentioned something earlier about that kind of that lifelong mentorship that you have with your players, and it's reflected, at least what I saw, in your college coach. As you know, when some of the story with the disciplinary action was hitting the fan, Coach Dale Brown, college basketball Hall of Famer, came out in person to support you that night. I mean, he showed, and he's I've heard him on the radio for decades talking about how he still mentors his former players, and he practiced what he preached once again. Still
today, he's in contact with every single player he has coached or has been in contact. And that's amazing.
And that's amazing.
That's incredible.
And he's sharp, too. He's 80
years old. It's together.
No, I'm going to tell you, one of the most intelligent person I ever met in my life is Coach Dale Brown. I'm telling you, I've learned a lot. I've watched him interview as a 18-year-old freshman coming to LSU, and I watched him. And I said, one day I want to be just like you.
Right.
I want to be very, very intelligent like you are. And I applied myself, and now here's my chance.
Yeah.
That's right.
Move it on.
Because he don't mind talking, because he'll talk to you.
Yeah. I was telling my friends. Go ahead.
He loves what he does.
Yeah, when you broadcast high school sports, it's kind of few and far between that you meet folks of this stature in person. I think the only other Hall of Famer I met was Rick Pitino, so it was a thrill.
And he loves it.
Yeah.
Brown, that's his thing. That's what he loves. He enjoys making people happy. He enjoys supporting those who need the support. He's not about the wrong things. He's about doing things the right way. And that's where I come from.
Wow.
That's where I come from.
Well, Coach, you are one of the fellas today. I don't know what your schedule's like. You can stay on with us till 12 noon and talk sports with us. We need a coach on the air anyway, because Coach Perry Daniels got held up.
I'm in my 11-year-old. My 11-year-old. He's a future serious prospect, and he has a game, and I'm currently walking into the gym right now.
Okay.
You at the academy up there?
No, right here at Breck Park.
Oh, yeah, Breck. Hey, well, I tell you what, I want to get your, before you go, can we at least get an NBA pick, NBA title pick from you? I know you're probably Golden State, right?
No, you know what? I'm not really crazy about Golden State.
Really?
Really?
That's different.
I'm really not.
And why is that? What do you think?
Right.
You think they're beatable, or you think they're just overhyped, or what?
I think they're beatable, and I think that even the officials have bought into the whole idea that hey, they're gonna get the calls. NBA they don't play a lot of defense. So with today's style of basketball, you can get away with a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? There's no more hand checking. So it's easy for Stephon Curry to go by and get this jump shot.
Right.
So I have my different take on it, but that's just an opinion. That doesn't mean nothing. My opinion is nothing. Everybody can.
What about Ben Simmons and LSU program down there now? What do you think about that?
I tell you what. I think that Ben Simmons is a class act. I think he's a first class kind of person. I think that he's doing everything to help LSU be successful. Hopefully, we can get into the NCAA tournament and make a run because they have the great potential. They have good support cast around them, and we just got to continue to work and get better. Everybody wants the best for themselves and their kids, so he's one of them who's coachable. So that helps. And I think Johnny Jones. Again, my opinion. I think he's doing everything with what he has to make it work, and it's going to take a little time. Remember now, they're still young. They're still a very, very young team. Can you keep them all there? Ooh, that's a tough task. Tough task right there.
So, Coach, before you go, you got to pick one. NBA champion. Who you got?
I like OKC. I like Oklahoma.
OKC.
I really do.
Durant and Westbrook.
Okay.
Good pick. Interesting pick. Coach.
I like him. I just like him. I like their style. I like their team. I just like
that toughness. Westbrook.
They're tough. They're tough. They really do have it.
I like Billy the Kid too. I like that coaching. Coach, thanks so much for joining us. Much appreciated, and thanks for taking time. Good luck to your little boy today, and we'll be in touch, I'm sure, sooner than later. Thanks again.
You're doing the right thing, man.
And everything is going to work out. I promise you it will.
Hey, you took the words out of my mouth. Everything is going to be just fine, man. You'll be okay. You're going to definitely be all right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
So that was Coach Harold Boudreaux of the McKinley Panthers, the District 5-5A champion, what in my opinion is the most difficult district in the Baton Rouge area. District 5-5A champion, McKinley Panthers. I'll tell you, it's like as the world turns with those guys. Now, Joker, I know you normally pick the music segment. Did you have a song in mind that you wanted to play? Because I had.
You have one? Go ahead, man. Well, y'all don't think you have ever debuted your song, man. But go ahead. I want to see what you got.
Well, this is going to be a tease of a song. Let me tell you, Perry and Joker are the more serious, thoughtful ones. I like to have a little bit of fun with it. And all I'm going to say, this is a very popular song. We're not going to play the whole thing because our segment ran long, but I think talking to Coach Harold Boudreaux was worth every single minute. But this is just going to be a tease of one of the issues that we're going to talk about that's coming up. So we're going to go from, I guess, kind of silly to serious, if you will. But here we go. Here's our music break, and we'll be back on the other side with some college basketball and then some controversy. So hold on. Here it is. Okay, here we go, folks.
Stay tuned.
Spicy.
Okay, and of course, it's brought to you in part by YouTube, and we're not going to bring you this chicken, whatever the heck it is.
Chick-fil-A.
Looks like Hillshire snacking. It looks like I guess I just gave the ad away anyway, but some barbecue. See? Now I'm getting hungry, man.
Promotion, yeah, no.
Doggone it. Oh, here we go.
That sausage, look.
Oopsie daisy. Let's try again. There we go. Okay, I don't know what kind of wacky remix that was at the end, but someone on YouTube had a good time with it. But yep, I can't feel my face.
So that's Bruno.
That's the Weeknd.
That's the Weeknd.
Yeah, that's the Weeknd.
Don't he kind of sound like Bruno?
He does. He does sound. He also in the video dances a bit like Michael. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know. So
of course, the Weeknd is in the video is completely on fire, set ablaze.
Yeah.
In the video, that's probably why he can't feel his face.
Today is Saturday. It's the weekend.
So on that note, hey, let's just jump right into college basketball as the Southern University Jaguars are like, what does it always say? Fire like Cayenne! As the Jags are on a roll. Whoa, we got to fix this.
So you got the mix. What that is? Is that the daytime mix? But I love it. I can't feel my face and the Jag. Yeah, I knew you had it.
I'm mixing up on the ones and twos. Oh, man, the Southern University Jaguars. I'm telling you, folks, I'm one of those guys, you cut me, I bleed purple and gold. I've said that a million times, but Southern University has been kind of like the anti-LSU. If you like to see Baton Rouge sports, if you like to watch Baton Rouge sports, they're the story that I can feel good about, at least as a Baton Rougean, because I'll tell you what, man. The Jags are on a roll. I mean, they look. We say this. If you listen every week, we always tell you right now. I think the class of the Southwestern Athletic Conference is Texas Southern, and you have to knock out the champ, like in boxing. But that being said, that number one contender, that team that is going to make life very difficult potentially for them in the Southwestern Athletic Conference tournament, are Baton Rouge's Southern University Jaguars. They body slammed their last two opponents as I kind of expected. They're going to go with their little tour of Dixieland as they're facing Perry gave us his opinion on our song choice, and well, we'll tie it together very shortly, Coach. Coach is stunned and appalled, but there is actually a reason to it. Like I said, it's a silly to serious transition. But back to the Jags real quick. They have the Dixieland Tours. They're in Alabama today. They'll play Alabama State. Go Jag Sports has it listed as time to be announced. I don't have any TV or radio information, but I believe there is going to be a link to the Alabama State game on Go Jag Sports. So you're going to have to do a little of your own reconnaissance if you want to watch that. And then they also have Alabama A&M in Huntsville, Alabama on Monday. These are games that the Jaguars are capable of winning. Now, they tend to, they tend to be a little... it's hard to win any game on the road in amateur athletics when you have to travel, when you have to get on a bus or get on an airplane and go to a hostile environment, and you have students who are very enthusiastic and they're used to playing in their own barn. It's hard to win any contest away from your home court. So that being said, I'm gonna, Southern had some challenges when they played. I mean, they beat the Mississippi Valley States of the world. We expected them to handle those guys. They were able to beat Grambling. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit different when you got to face the likes of a comparable team, a team that's not one in the century on the season. But I'm gonna, with bated breath, I think LSU. Well, look at me. I think Southern, the Jags know what's at stake. They know that they have a real chance to compete for conference. I think they're focused. They have their guard players at 100% with Traylon Banks. I think I'm going to hold my breath. I think Alabama State, I don't think they win that game, but I expect them to be competitive. And the only problem is with 2 losses in conference. Alabama State has 2 losses in conference play. Southern has 3. I think they're going to have some trouble with Alabama State, but I think they lose that game competitively. But I think they lose the Alabama State game competitively. But against Alabama A&M, I think they get that road win in Huntsville. I think they're just frankly a better team, and I think they go in and take it out there. So I see a split on this road trip. I'm going Southern to beat Alabama A&M. Strike that. To beat Alabama State and to
lose.
I got it wrong. Wrong. Lose to Alabama State. Thank you. And to beat Alabama A&M.
Right. I'm going to second that, actually. I'm going to go with the same picks you have this week. Southern has been on a roll, and so it's kind of a head-scratcher, but I think they're looking like they've gotten it together, and they're going for the push. So a split would be good right at this time, so I'm going to go with them.
So we get in the Cadillac, and I'm going to stall and go to the Circle K for gas and check the tire pressure, because anything I can do to stall and delay going, doggone it. Doggone, I hate Windows 10. I hate Windows 10 so very, very much, folks.
That's why I haven't upgraded yet.
Don't. Skip it. Wait for whatever the next version of Windows is to come out. I hate it so very, very much. As I'm trying to stall going.
On the other side of town, moving quickly, rolling swiftly in the hoopty ride.
I'm not rolling so swiftly because this LSU team, they just we went through the whole Dennis Green thing last week, and it's like, they had 2 games at home. They beat Texas, 15th ranked Texas A&M was in a little bit of a slide, but they beat him at home. Then they have Alabama, Alabama's very well coached, and we saw that in that game, and they hit their free throws, which I think was the difference in the game. But they just, you watch LSU, and I just am screaming at the TV. They have a chance. They're in first place in the SEC, a chance to get a foothold, a chance to get out of that last 4 in the big dance, and they blow it. I mean, they had a tit-for-tat game with Alabama, and I expected that because Alabama's well coached, and LSU slapped Alabama around their home court first time in 12 years. So I expected that. But man, did they just sold out. They sold out at the charity stripe. They committed silly fouls. It's the same old thing. And Coach Boudreaux mentioned a moment ago that there's a component of youth, and it showed. And so once again, LSU is back in this bubble status. And it's funny because this is one of the few times, Joker, that the powers that be, if you will, are begging to say, please, LSU, give us a reason to put you in the tournament.
We want Ben Simmons on TV.
Right. I mean, they just for at least a game or 2, come on, what do we have to do? They're taking it. What do you want us to deflate the balls? We'll deflate the balls for you. They're doing everything it takes, and LSU is just like, So, the LSU Tigers, they're back back home today. Wait, I better double check my information. I'm not sure if they're at home or on the road. I might have put my foot.
It's going to be very interesting to see at the end of the season what they do with Johnny Jones. That's what I want to see.
I mean,
because Ben Simmons is gone next year, so
right.
I think if he would really made if he still has a chance if he can win the SEC tournament or do well in the NCAA tournament. If he does really really well, kind of overachieves a little bit, then next year we know Ben Simmons is gone. Then
let me tell you something. If you have the #1 overall pick, has there ever been a time? I think it was you who brought this up earlier. Maybe it was me. I forget. I remember us talking about this point earlier in the year. Has there ever been a time when a university has had the #1 overall pick in the NBA draft and fired their coach in the same year? I don't think it's ever happened. But you have a guy like Ben Simmons in your team, and you fail to make the tournament, and you got a lot of other talented players. That's a lot. I'm just saying.
Not gonna look good.
Yeah, that's not going to look good.
Especially when we want you to move on after Ben Simmons is gone.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like I thought this was an opportunity for him to really, use Ben Simmons to kind of give him a crutch for a couple of more years, you know what I mean? So, but we'll see how it all works out. LSU really has talent. When you really look at their basketball team, man, they got talent.
They do. They have shooters, yes.
Yeah, they got slashers. They got rebounders.
With Craig Victor.
And on top of it,
and
with
Blakeney,
Ben Simmons. Right.
And Quarterman. I mean, they got players. This team can play. And Keith Hornsby.
Right, and Hornsby.
Who can knock it down from downtown.
Exactly.
So look, LSU has 2 games, and I put my foot in my mouth. They're on the road. They're not returning home. That's what I thought. They got the Tennessee Volunteers today, 5:30 our time on ESPN. I know I'm stealing from Colin Cowherd. I just think it sounds cool. But I even though they're on the road and it's very hard to win road games in the SEC, I expect them to pappy slap Tennessee. Then they have Arkansas. Arkansas is having a rough time in conference play also, but I think as a sense of desperation, I do think LSU just has, I'm sorry, I said 5:30 our time. It's 4:30 our time. 4:30 our time on ESPNU and ESPN3. And then I think they beat Tennessee and beat them up today after dropping one against Alabama.
I think so too. I'm gonna go with LSU. Of course, and the reason why I've been going with them every week because I know that the powers that be want them in the tournament. So that's why I'm kind of leaning towards them. It's like the stars are trying to line up for LSU Tigers. What? Go ahead.
Don't be surprised if the Gatorade accidentally gets swapped with Gator Load on the Tennessee side, mysteriously on the Tennessee sideline.
Right. But what's amazing me now about the SEC is the players and the programs that are not the same. The Arkansas, you know what I mean? The Tennessees, the Floridas, the Kentuckys. SEC used to be, with Arkansas, Alabama, those teams.
And SEC is now I'm gonna call it a second-tier Power 5 conference, if you will. I mean, it's really all about the ACC and the Big Ten and the Pac-12, really. I mean, the SEC.
But the recruiting seemed to be. At one time, the SEC was a dominant basketball.
It was.
And, of course, Kentucky, but even without Kentucky, SEC had a lot of players, a lot of good teams, from Arkansas to Tennessee, and all them, the males team was good. Of course, LSU, Alabama. So now we're just trying to see it now, kind of, they're not as a strong conference. So I think that kind of hurts LSU also.
LSU, speaking of Arkansas, has Arkansas coming up. Oh, I'm picking LSU to beat Tennessee. You got them over Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
They have Arkansas. They play at Arkansas on Tuesday, 6 o'clock on ESPNU. Arkansas is one of those teams that you kind of throw the records out of the window, but I do think, again, I think LSU has more talent, and I think if they can't focus against 2 opponents that are beatable with all this in the line, they don't deserve to be there. So I'm going to, even though it's 2 road games, and I don't think LSU swept 2 road games in a row this year, but I'm actually going to pick them to beat Arkansas.
I'm going to pick both of them to beat Arkansas, and that's coming up. And speaking of coming up, who do we have coming up next?
We have
Noel Jackson with Music Satisfaction.
Here on 96.9 FM, WHYR Baton Rouge Community Radio. Speaking of right and wrong, we have a very short I Told You So, because we only picked a couple of games last week, but nonetheless, we got to get you guys, treat you guys to I Told You So. And let's...
can we get a delay? Is Windows 10 messing up again?
It's not messing up. It's just not. It's not friendly.
And we're sorry, people. It kind of throws our timing off. I'm going to call Bill Gates.
I hate Windows 10 so very much.
I told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? 'Cause I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say will happen when I told you? Exactly what just happened.
On the first, I'm going to go with a Southern sweep for their next 2 contests coming up. Southern over Arkansas Pine Bluff, Southern over Mississippi Valley.
I'm picking Southern in both games too.
Gonna pick a minor upset. I think LSU's actually gonna find a way to hold home court.
Yeah! But I'm going to pick LSU. This is a desperate game. They really, really need this win, so I'm gonna go with LSU.
I expect them to beat Alabama. I expect it to be very competitive, but I do expect them to win that game on Wednesday night.
But they are who we thought they were.
I expect them to win the game on Wednesday night too. Oh man!
So that was
they are who we thought they were.
And so look,
what a great quote! What a great line!
Oh, it's timeless.
Is that better than playoffs? What is the greatest quote?
Playoffs is still my favorite.
Playoffs probably got to be the #1.
It never gets old to me. Jim Mora quotes never get old to me.
Did he trademark that?
He should. Shoot, he's been gone for 20 years from the Saints, but I still quote some of his stuff. He was the dullest person ever, but had some of the best one-liners. You know what I'm saying?
Now I'm gonna tell you who did trademark a saying, and a lot of people may not know this. You know, Pat Riley coined the phrase three-peat.
I did. I read that in Jeff Pearlman wrote a book about the Lakers. I didn't know that till last year, but yeah, I did hear about that. That's pretty cool.
He trademarked it too.
Shoot, they better pay that brother. But look, speaking of, we got to talk about this Peyton Manning situation.
It's going down, man.
It's Peyton Manning was named it was cited in a Title IX lawsuit about. At the University of Tennessee, it was a case in which really the center of the case was about 5 alleged sexual assaults that took place between this is as reported by CNN, between 2013 and 2015, and they're trying to talk about a culture of basically indifference about sexual assaults in Tennessee, and they mentioned an incident involving Peyton Manning back in 1996 involving Dr. Jamie Norwright, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, in which Peyton Manning allegedly, when he was nude, I don't know, parents of your kids in the car, I just got to describe it basically.
Can you say it?
Balls? He was being treated, he was nude, and he put his fruit bowl right in her face. That's the only way I can put it. It got really ugly.
Testicles.
And while Peyton Manning is not really the subject of this lawsuit, it's involving some rapes. There were 2 football players at Tennessee and a basketball player involved. The 2 football players are awaiting trial. One has since graduated. The basketball player transferred. It really doesn't involve him, but he's obviously a very high-profile guy. It talks about the culture. And you look at how Tennessee swept it, according to the facts of the suit, facts of the case by Dr. Norwright, Tennessee swept it under the rug aggressively.
Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning. A lot of things are starting to come up now with Peyton Manning. You're talking about Joker P. I'm a slightly conspiracy theorist, and I think that now they allowed him to get the Super Bowl and go out on his high horse. Now things are starting to come up a little bit. With the HGH not a couple of weeks ago, and that was for my wife. I don't know, maybe she's working out and need HGH, but not him. His neck surgery, neck surgery, he don't need it. Come to his house.
No.
Hey, I look at the bottom, give it to my wife. Oh, I don't need that. So it's a lot of things now, and I think with social media and the way things are now, it's just you can't do nothing now. You're going to get busted.
Yeah, exactly. And that wasn't
you're going to get busted. So
exactly,
things are now starting to come out about these players, and we boost them up and make them like they're all this, and then it don't surprise me at all, and that's why I look at players and accept them for what they are. I don't try to put them and make them like they hold it out. They're just men like me and you, and that's pretty much my quick opinion.
We're gonna talk. We're out of time. We're gonna talk more about this Peyton. Yeah, we're gonna talk about this Peyton Manning situation again. As poor Dr. Norwright couldn't feel her face, and that's just not fair. So,
right.
I guarantee you, Dr. Norwright was probably treating Peyton Manning, minding her own business, doing doctor things or whatever it is, and then she went down to pick up her alcohol or a syringe or a bandage and looked up and saw Peyton Manning and was like, oh, shout out to Baton Rouge, a semi-pro team, the Louisiana Eagles, and Coach Perry Daniels' parents, if he's listening, shout out to ADT and JNS. Joker?
Nationwide is on your side.
Your image is in deep doo-doo.
I will shout out to everybody out there. Thank y'all for listening. See y'all next week.
Have a good afternoon. Oh. Hey, that was a good show considering how messed up you were, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I wanted to get more time on Peyton Manning, but obviously Coach Boudreaux, that's radio gold. That is gold.
Interview.
Yeah, I'm posting that mug. I usually wait about a week to post it. I'm gonna post that mug today.
Yeah. You can post that.
Is Noel here?
Hail to the king and lots of love. May he protect us from the evil. Hail to the king, lots of love.